All right, guys, as you know, we have our resident economist, Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time.
I do have an econ degree, but never was a practicing economist, but I have been studying the economy for 30 years, got the fancy degree. So yeah, let's go.
Hey, you know what? That's way closer than I got. You know?
Yeah, it's hard to get there when you leave in the 9th grade. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. I found, yeah, they're like, would you ever go back to school? And I was like, I'd have to do 3 more years of high school, then go to college and do 4 years there and then do another 2.
No.
What am I, a professional student? No, absolutely not. The answer is no. I couldn't slow my life down that much. What are you kidding me? And
I want to know. I want to know if your kids are going to go to college. That's what I want to know.
I'm very interested to see if they do. The choice is 100% theirs because they're paying for it.
What are they going to graduate high school?
That will be by threat of death. Yeah, that's not an option.
That's happening.
Yeah, that's not an option for them.
If it's too hard.
Yeah,
too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like I will, online thing. I'll report them to the truant officer myself.
That's right. I'll just drive them. Oh, look over there.
Hey, see him right here? 15, not in school. Take care of it. Yep. Yeah. Not listening to me. Take care of it. Might be strong-willed.
Yes, there you go.
So one of the things that we talked about on the Three Amigos yesterday was kind of inflation versus deflation, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about how to prep for that. I think it's really important. It was so important that when we were talking off camera, I was just like, I really want to make sure that we kind of spend some more time on that because I think that people think that you have to be prepared for one or the other, as opposed to being in a position where you can truly prepare for both. Yeah. You really can.
You can.
And so let's talk a little bit about, let's kind of give everybody kind of a 60 to 120 seconds on inflation, what inflation is, what deflation is, and then talk about how we're kind of combating that ourselves.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. If you're watching a real estate channel, Lumberjack, for example, you need to realize that there are winners and losers on both sides. Mm-hmm. Just kind of simply speaking, right? Inflation is probably the one that most people hear about. It's in the news all a lot. CPI 6.2 record. Why are my dogs barking so loud? Come here. Hey.
Apparently they want some of Dion's bet.
Yeah, exactly. They want some treats or something. Anyways, I apologize. So inflation going up 6.2%, all of that. Here's the deal. The winners in an inflationary environment are quite simply the folks that own debt.
Yep.
Right. The folks that have debt, especially 30-year debt, especially if 30-year debt is below inflation, crush it.
Right.
That's why you and I have spent the last 6, 9, 12 months getting all of our variable debt, fixed rate debt fixed because we want to win. Yep. Because again, the expense line doesn't change, value goes up, rents go up, NOI goes up. It's a beautiful thing to own, to be a landlord in an inflationary environment. Losers are people that hold cash.
Yeah.
Right. Because your purchasing power goes down. If you don't own assets, you lose. So inflation is bad for like 90%. Because it hits everyone. That's what people don't realize. They talk about taxes and tax the rich and all this other nonsense. The reason they don't talk about inflation is because it hits everybody and it is nasty at the bottom. Because you are the one that just don't have options. You're on a fixed income, maybe low income. You got to put gas, you got to buy food, and you have to. And you don't have any money. If you flip that over to deflation, there are winners with deflation, right? And again, deflation is tricky. Right. Because you can have asset deflation, you can have stuff deflation, and then you can have wage deflation, right? There are 3 other variables. So when people say the word deflation, you really got to push back and say, which one are you talking about? Mm-hmm. First and foremost, just generally speaking, the winner who wins in deflation are people that have cash. Yeah. Because if you have cash, you could be Warren Buffett, who extracted a king's ransom from Goldman Sachs back in the last crash because they needed cash.
That's right.
Right. So again,
right. It was like terms.
He got warrants and he got interest it was like that's almost usury. From Goldman Sachs, he extracted that. Nuts. Again, right? People that sit on cash can strike in a deflationary environment.
Sure.
Again, I want to go back to Jamie Dimon 9 months ago. He had $500 billion in cash and says, I'm okay. Now he's got $1 trillion in cash and he's like, I'm good. And that's because he is setting up for what he thinks will be asset depreciation. Stuff will go on sale. So again, you can set yourself up for that. In fact, Matt and I, and now Dion has been browbeat into doing the same thing. We have gone back to assets that we own free and clear or have huge equity. We are getting 30-year fixed rate debt on what's known as cash out refis. And we are just stacking the cash, right? The three of us are not going to buy a toy. We're not going to do something stupid. We are willing to sit on it for years to come until a deal shows up. And the amazing thing that happens when you have it, deals come to you. We heard yesterday, knock on wood, that Dion may land 6 duplexes.
Oh.
Seller financing.
Oh,
you know, that's what happens, Dion, when you listen to the Lumberjack and one rental at a time. Deals come your way like that, and you'll have the capital. I'm just saying.
Follow the money.
Follow the money, right? Oh. We've done this before. So again, you really can be set up, and I think you and I are set up for both environments.
Yeah.
I'll be very clear. I hope we go into a deflationary environment. I do not think it's my base case. I think it's 80-20 the other way. But if you want to talk my book, deflation, crash. I've got plenty of money and access to a lot more. Right. I will happily repeat 2010. I don't see it as the base case, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah. So I think you bring up a lot of great points. I mean, again, we really, with our assets, we are on both sides
right now. Yeah. On purpose. We don't know where it's
on both sides, because if inflation takes off and goes crazy, rents go crazy. Or if we decide that we want to get out of some properties because they create the 40-year mortgage, that becomes a thing, and that's 1%.
Oh my God. Can you, again, right? Talk about that yesterday, right? 40-year mortgage, buyer programs. Your market's a 9, mine's a 42. Dude, if my 42, again, affordability index, go watch that video, goes to 20.
Yeah.
I think I need to count how many single family homes I own, but I don't know, 25, 35, somewhere in there. I'll sell all of them, because that would, my prices would roughly double.
Right.
Yeah. I would repeat stage 1 or phase 1 of my book: sell houses, buy apartments. It's crazy. It's crazy for me to think about, but I've seen it happen.
It could happen.
I did. I bought again, watch the video in 02, December of 02. I think it was 51 or 52. And by the time because we pulled up Zillow, right? And in that video, I sold when it was 17. It's like, get out. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
And that's the thing, is you can't be married to these assets. They are there to help you create wealth.
Yeah. Believe me, I will sell everything I own if you want to pay double. You can have them.
Right.
I can have 0 units if somebody wants to pay double for everything I own. It's okay.
And we ran the numbers. A mortgage at 1% versus a mortgage at 4%. It basically doubles the value of the home. I mean, pretty close to doubles the value of the home.
Yeah. Again, we did 1% 40-year mortgage. The payment went down in half, which means it doubles the value of the home. Because again, people buy on payment, they don't buy on value. These people screaming, "Oh, look at the peak, it's higher than that peak," are idiots or stupid. I'll let them choose which one they want to be.
And that's not wrong. And again, because it's math, right? I'm honestly reviewing my portfolio and looking at it and saying, all right, if it goes to 2%, and Dion's right from a deflation perspective, and Grant Cardone is right from a deflation perspective, and these prices double, and there's a home buying program that makes it possible where somehow the government funds, their down payment. Mike, I gotta be honest. My stuff that's worth 4, if it's worth 8, that I paid 2 for, like,
you get out and you sit on cash, because that's what I did, right? I 1031 out of houses to apartments, and lo and behold, over the next 4 years, Fresno crashed 75%.
Unreal.
And then I swooped in, and yes, let's be clear. I want to be very clear. My apartments were worth less money, but I don't give a rat's tail what my balance sheet says.
Right.
I spend cash flow. My income statement was better because rents went up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing, is if you're getting to the size where you're looking at, look how many assets I own, look how much money of assets I own, you're looking at the wrong thing. Once you get to a certain point, your mindset will change if you're not already there. It is about one thing and one thing only, and that is cash flow and the ability to create cash. And I will agree with some of the guys that are out there. Dion certainly is of this mindset. Grant Cardone's of this mindset. Cash is trash. I agree that long-term, largely speaking, cash is trash. I want to be getting flows out, flows in, and then those
Mhm.
flows constantly getting bigger. What I also need to be cognizant of is we're not in a position where Fannie and Freddie is going to call Mike Zuber or call
Mhm.
the lumberjack landlord and say, we've got 120 units that we want to place with you guys.
Yeah.
We'll just let you continue the debt.
Yeah.
We're not in
We're
that
not that
position.
guy. No,
Not
others
that guy.
are. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
his
a
are.
few.
He absolutely is.
Oh yeah, of
He's
course.
he's not
Yeah.
having to hunt too hard for a deal.
No.
He's working with the GSEs, the government sponsored entities,
Mhm.
and they're saying to him, you have a proven model, it works, we will sell this to you.
Yeah. And let's be
Continuation of
clear,
that.
Grant gets bigger. Like if we have a bad environment, there's a list of A and B buyers, right? All the
That's
B
right.
buyers will disappear. There's a list of A buyers, and there's less than 100 of them.
That's right.
There's got to be less. And they will call these players and say, which person wants this? We will put the sweetheart deal together. The GSEs don't want to foreclose and they don't want assets. They will take it from
Right.
operator A, give it to operator B, never take ownership. He will get those phone calls. He is that big.
He is that big now.
Good for
He
him.
is.
I'm not that guy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well,
and that's
I
the
will
thing is-
never be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, but the interesting thing is what I wanted to talk about that for real briefly is you can be that guy for a local bank.
You could be. Yeah. I did that for a local bank. Yeah. Local bank saw the unit I was
You
doing
got a
next
sweetheart
door.
of a deal.
Yeah. I bought a 10 unit that was trashed next to a 10 unit building that was I took the trash, made it nice. The bank foreclosed on the other one and said, hey, knock, knock. We like what you did there. You want to do this one? Maybe. What do you got for me? Well, here, do this, do this, do this. No money down. Done.
So you
Thank
can
you.
be that, just on a much smaller scale.
Yes, absolutely.
So people should be aware of that as well. But honestly, if you ever want to be in that position, A, you're going to have a decent amount of units. B, you're going to have a significant track record. And C, you're most importantly going to have to show them your cash flows.
Yeah,
They're not going to care about your assets at that point because assets go up and down with where the economy is.
Yep.
Cash flows is where it's at. So when Grant talks about cash being king or cash being trash, it's not king. Really, what Mike and I would do to augment that statement is we would say cash flow is king.
Yeah. And again, one more thing just to round it on cash is I do believe long-term cash is trashed. But if Jamie Dimon's willing to sit on $1 trillion for a year or two, if Warren Buffett is willing to sit on a record amount of cash of 149.7 billion, yes, folks, I read the financial statements. I'll sit on a couple of bucks and see if any deals come across my path.
Mike, think about this. $149 billion. That
And
buys,
growing.
That
And
buys
growing.
a state of real estate.
Certainly could.
Like, hi, Warren Buffett now owns Kansas. This is the craziness that we're talking about with some of these numbers.
Yeah,
and one of the other things I was looking at too is, for those of you out there who were talking about, Zillow this and Zillow's trash and all this other stuff. So they just solved their problem with the stroke of one pen, which was they sold 2,000 units to a hedge fund that already had 70,000 single family homes. They just sold them another 2,000 with the stroke of a pen.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
This is, I believe, Mike, in this particular scenario, it is far better to own the asset than it is to own the debt of the asset. Because I think that's where Wall Street got crushed last time, was they just owned the debt of the asset.
Yeah, they owned debt
CEOs.
on debt.
Yeah.
And the debt and they owned insurance policies on debt that was levered insurance. It was so toxic and stupid. It was bad.
It is. So the good news is much of that has changed on Wall Street. And I know we're going to see a bunch of comments about how it really hasn't. It really pretty much has, because they were buying the 50% of mortgages that had adjustable rate debt, as opposed to now only 2 or 3% have adjustable rate debt.
Exactly.
That's what's changed. So Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, my friend.
One rental at a time is the channel. 5 videos a day, live 8 a.m. Pacific Saturdays. And I have 8 or 9 multimillionaires that talk every week. So it's a lot of fun.
It's a good time. Author of books.
Yes.
And the best value on the internet course.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy. Going up by the end of the year.
Yep. January 1st.
As a landlord of almost 100 units, there's a number of those sections. The ones that I didn't teach, I've taken a number of the other ones.
Yeah.
So they are well worth it. And for me, I've been doing this for 20 years. There's not a ton to always learn, but there's always something to learn.
Yeah, if you are lacking confidence or need something to do to learn your market, this is the only way to go. It just is.
It just is. He's not wrong. So 11 a.m. Eastern time on Saturdays, One Rental at a Time does their live stream here on YouTube. Mine is 11:30 a.m. after One Rental at a Time's daily financial news, 11:30 Eastern time on Sunday. And then Dion Financial Talk, 5 or 6 p.m. on his talk, Dion Talk, for his live stream. And again, there's probably 5 to 7 hours a week of content between those three. If you only watch that, you will be absolutely light years ahead of anybody else that's doing property
It's real
management.
deals. It's real business.
deals.
It's real stuff. It's not crash, bubble, crisis, depression, nonsense. God, I hate that stuff.
It's honestly, it's absolutely brutal because they're like, well, this could happen. Yeah, well, a monkey can fly out of my butt too. But, you know, I mean, let's just make some educated decisions, you know, honest to God with this stuff. So as I always like to say, we create amazing content for you. Please subscribe, hit the like button, attend some of those live streams this week, learn. And most importantly, Mike, we love it when people ask questions.
Yeah, that's why we're there.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We're making ourselves available for that. So have an awesome weekend, and we will talk again next week, and probably no Three Amigos because that's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'll be up. I'll do it.
Dude, I'm off. So,
yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Of all my expert series, I'm guessing Three Amigos happen. It may be a slightly different time, but I bet you it happens.
So now we're going to be doing this on Thanksgiving. I love it. I'm thankful for that. That's the best.
Yeah.
Mike, thanks so much. Have a great week. We'll chat next week. Talk soon.
You got it.
See you.